Are you okay?
Nice.
Finish him.
All right.
We've done it. So, Zach, don't do what we're now dubbing as the Rachel thing, which is make eye contact with Duncan but not talk into the mic.
Yeah. It's
There we go.
yeah. Put your ear into the mic. That
All
might
right,
make a
y'all,
scene
y'all
thing.
got me.
Okay.
Let me tell you a
So-
secret.
I believe Jackson has told me a lot about you,
Yes.
terrifying.
Mr. Zachary Avacado.
Avocado works.
Avocado, because I
Yeah.
have no clue what your last name is.
Yeah, it's avocado.
All right.
That's what it is now.
So he's told me a lot about you, and just to bring you into the podcast, Zach. Long ago, a long time ago, probably what 2020.
Yeah.
All that. It was quite a while ago, but
Beppin.
what was that, Jackson?
Yes. Sure. Continue.
It was quite a while ago. I began, you know, a podcast with Jackson Francis Cartwright, and my good friend Jackson
sound right.
Francis. No, it's his middle name. I have his birth certificate. I would know.
Okay. Whatever, bro.
But
You do you.
Well, that's the one that was made by the same people who made Obama's.
Oh, dang.
that's a little offensive. That's a little offensive. But speaking of a little offensive, I hear Zach is the same way. But what I was what Jackson and I were talking about was like, yeah, we're gonna start a podcast. It'll be a great time. And the first person that said that they were a fan was somebody who liked my post on Instagram, and I had no clue who they were. I just saw no sleeves, and I was like, okay, we're in good company.
Yep.
I clicked on his page,
Sleeves
and I was
are
like,
for dweebs.
oh my, you're calling both of us dweebs.
Exactly.
All right.
Continue, sorry.
Whilst going through the Instagram, I was like, oh, American flag and a fighter pilot. Nice. That's all I know about you, sir.
That's pretty much all you need to know, to be honest.
Yeah, he went running shirtless in like 50 degrees with an American flag
Yes.
yesterday. So
That's good. That's good.
Yep.
Wait, have I told you the story about a 10K ran with my dad?
I don't believe so.
So my dad has been hit by 3 cars, okay? So one would assume he would never run a 10K.
One
But
would
also,
be wrong.
But also my father has the grit of a Russian.
Dude, remember when that like American Grit or True Grit show with John Cena was on?
I do not.
For like
sir.
it had like 2 seasons. Your dad should have been on it. It's basically these people that train, and the whole thing is just like you're gonna have grit, and it's like obstacle courses.
Oh, yeah, I
and
remember
like
that.
the whole last thing is just like, here's a metal bar. You're going to hold on to this like 10 feet off the ground, and there were the last 3 contestants. Like whoever is on here the longest wins. And that was like the finale show, and they did like obstacles. They had judges and stuff, and they did.
I don't think my dad would win. His grit is more in unbelievable perseverance.
Yeah, that's kind of what the thing was, though. It's like,
But that's like muscle.
oh,
Those are 2 different things.
You
sir.
need no muscle if you have perseverance.
We're just gonna leave that there. But to continue the story, I was running with my dad, and it was like, I don't know, mid-November of last year.
okay.
And my father was really happy that he could get up to running a 10K, which is about 6.2 miles. It's a good amount. And I was running it with him. But the thing is, not only am I like 30 years younger than my dad, I'm also can run like 30 miles longer. And that's not
Yes.
even an exaggeration.
What's how?
My longest distance is 32 miles.
Yeah, you average. What do you do? 14? From your Instagram post, you've done.
My average is about a half marathon every week. But I can run quite a distance. So this 10K with my father, who's running at a mile an hour, is not gonna be hard for me. So what I did beforehand is I ran a nice long thing the day before, so I'd be nice and sore to run with my dad.
Okay.
But what was happening was it was in 20. I want to say 20. It was like 38 degrees out, so pretty chilly.
Yeah.
But
Coach Barney do? I can't remember if it was a half marathon or a marathon in that weather.
Yeah,
Or no,
I
he
think-
did it in negative. degrees.
I think it was full.
It was a full
I think it was a
marathon in
full.
like negative degree, and he was like, it's the worst experience.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I would rather run in cold weather than in super hot weather. But the thing is, with super hot weather, you can have a lot of water and breaks.
Yeah.
In super cold weather, if you take a break, you're asking for it.
You're asking for Satan to pull
But
you down.
what happened was we got out of the car and I was like, okay, Father, here's what you have to understand about me. Takes off shirt. Because I'm not going to run with a shirt on because that's just uncomfortable. I'm not a pansy, you see. And my dad was like, Duncan, you're going to get cold. And I was like, Father, you don't...
Father.
Hold my beer. So as we were running, this is the punchline of the story. As we were running, a middle-aged man and his wife were like passing Dad because my dad can't run that fast because he's been hit by the aforementioned 3 cars. And as someone was passing it, this guy looked back and he was like, "Aren't you cold?" And I would just like shrugged. He looked. Man, I'm wearing 5 shirts and my nipples are still as hard as ice. And I didn't smirk. My father smirked. This is what I responded with, without any hesitation. You Americans are weak. In Soviet Russia, they have us run in snow barefoot. And the man gave me the most priceless look. And this is the sort of thing that I was just immediately, without instinctually, had to respond with that.
He's like, yeah, Russian. Go.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, Russian." And then he looked at my dad, who does not look Russian at all, and just kept running. He was so confused.
For those who don't know, his dad looks like Fidel Castro.
My dad looks like Fidel Castro or Osama bin Laden.
Oh, dang, that's a nice mix right there.
Yeah, flip a coin. But that's one of the funniest stories I have of me running a 10K.
Yeah, so since we're going to continue on running for a bit, because that's something all 3 of us actually do,
There you go.
is me and Zach have had extensive conversations about how to make cross-country a contact sport.
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much dedicated at least 15 minutes of every cross country practice to figuring out how to play
develop
full
full
contact
contact.
cross country.
You can just go basic, where it's just now it's not illegal to spike people anymore as you're running past them.
Mm-hmm.
You have different like points. You have the people who like just start taking out people from the beginning, while you have your faster runners try and get ahead of all of those people. You have like all the different positions and stuff. You can just tackle people off the course.
Push kids into trees.
Yeah, it's great.
All the stuff you always wanted to do when that kid cuts the course, it's now legal.
So I have a question. Are we allowed to bring in weapons? Is it like brass knuckles?
It's hand to hand, and then obviously
I think anything you can pick up from the forest is fair game.
yeah.
Okay, so
Anything
so
you can
basically-
What if it's like a marathon and it's like being done like on a city street?
if you find there's just a hobo guy sitting on the street, you grab like his empty glass bottle. Yeah, sure.
Grab the hobo, just use the whole thing.
Use him as a weapon.
So it's less testing how fast you can run. It's more testing how creatively you can hurt other people and then run.
Yeah, I mean, if you do one in the woods,
Yeah.
you can grab sticks.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that's the part where the different positions come in. We grab like the zitter guys
That's
on our
also what she
team
said.
who do the 5Ks in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we have them just go off so they don't get hit. Then we have other people stay back and just whack people with sticks or spike them.
So no longer will the useless people be useless in cross country.
I see the real meaning.
The Happy
behind
Fun
this
Time
now.
Lederhosen boys,
Yeah.
or the
Yeah, I think it was.
Happy Fun Time Lederhosen boys.
I
Yes.
was not part.
You were not
so-
part of that, yeah. So every cross country you did was divided into
Varsity and JV.
varsity and JV, except one where they had varsity, JV, and C team.
Oh, the C team.
Yes. Me barely being the fastest runner on the C team was like, all right, I gotta, me and then this other kid Seth, who were like also the oldest ones, were like, okay, we gotta, because these guys, they're on the C team, they're sad. We're just happy
The
to
C
be here.
stands for sad.
Yes. We're just happy to be here and running. We're excited. But these guys, they're sad. How do we pump them up? We come up with a stupid team name. And Seth, his ancestry is Swedish, so he does, kind of a Swedish accent. and then I do like my Svea German one. Oh, hello there, welcome. That
That
type
sounds
thing.
similar to my my Swedish.
Yes, yeah, I do that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
pretty much. And
But it's not
so,
German because it's
yeah.
not Schnitzel.
It's not schnitzel. It's different.
Less
But
schnitzel.
then, in the true brain of us mixing our not very good accents,
Yeah,
we
whoever
then
said.
decided that we would be called the Happy Fun Time Lederhosen Boys.
Lied-
And you
what
have-
does Lederhosen mean? Did you even Google translate that before you did it?
The Happy Fun Time Lederhosen.
I feel like we should probably figure this
Like
out.
I was
because
thinking.
watch Lederhosen just be like a very
thought
offensive racial
I thought
slur.
I thought Lederhosen was like that was the clothing.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
would go
remember-
with something safe like the Happy Fun Time Haagen-Dazs boys. Like you know what Haagen-Dazs means, which actually means nothing.
Yeah.
The word Haagen-Dazs means nothing. It's just something that an American company thought would sound like
German.
refined, like ooh,
Or
ethnic and exotic.
I forgot. I used to know what pancakes were in German because that's what my grandpa called them always, just because he thought it was funny.
Lederhosen is apparently not a word.
It's you can't put it in Google Translate because
Yeah.
you have to. I think Google it because I'm pretty sure it's an article
Yeah.
of clothing. I can't
Well-
remember if it's like long underwear or it's kind of like I'm picturing like you know the stereotypical like overalls, but they're also short shorts.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what I'm picturing, but I don't remember exactly what it is.
Either way, it's a
The
fire name.
Lederhosen are short or knee-length leather breeches.
Okay, yeah.
That are worn as traditional garments in some regions of German-speaking countries. The longer ones are generally called Bundhosen or Knietbundhosen. I mispronounced that.
Yeah.
I'm confident.
I remember knowing
It's
it,
like the German kilt.
yeah, effectively. I remembered it wasn't something I figured it wasn't something terribly offensive because I heard it somewhere and those people don't say offensive things, but I also heard it in Shrek from the stupid pigs. So
Why did that? It being in Shrek somehow like
because if it means something, if it's a racial, I don't think they'll put racial slurs in Shrek.
You never
Are you
know with
sure?
Shrek.
Are you sure? Oh man.
I hope.
I mean, Shrek kind of sounds like you're being offensive, right? That word. It's like,
It's accurate.
I'm gonna Shrek you from behind. It's like, it sounds wrong, right?
little
I'm not
bit.
the only one who thinks that.
Probably not.
Kind of like Caxon. Remember when you brought that up?
I don't
Caxon Jarkright?
Oh yeah, Jackson Dart, right? Yeah.
It just sounds
That doesn't-
dirty.
That doesn't go well. No.
Yeah.
Was it not Almond Boy who helped you came up with Elias?
Yes, so I was saying it, and then Seth said it in the accent, and then Elias the almond boy, he was like, oh my gosh, this is a great thing, we should just continue to say
Yeah,
this.
it's like an almond joy, but
As a
with
man.
pronouns, preferred
Yes.
pronouns.
His last
yeah.
name's Almond, so
Almond.
yeah.
Okay, but not almond.
Not Almond, no, but
Everyone in cross country, we're just like everyone's gonna have some
Yeah.
something eaten.
Put Zach and this almond boy together and
I
something
have-
like a nice nutritional snack.
I have so many nicknames. I have a ridiculous
he
amount of
has,
nicknames.
and all
I
of
think
them.
we've covered this.
Yeah,
actually.
all of
Yeah, I
them are
think
my
you
phone
did.
contact names.
Yes. And some other people have even more. Did you hear last year Caitlin's whole entire spiel?
Oh yeah, no, Caitlin.
Lord.
Our friend Caitlin had. It had to be 30 seconds to a minute,
Oh,
right?
good, easy.
She would say Zachary, and then all the way through for probably a minute
A nice monologue, yeah.
of nicknames and fake middle names and all sorts of crazy things.
Wait, fake middle names?
Yes.
Oh man, that's
Yes.
like horrible.
Yeah.
Give
Oh,
someone
it
a
was-
fake middle name.
And she would say it every single time. She's like, "Is that Zachary?"
And then she'd do it, and if like she messed up, she'd start over.
Yeah. And so
Oh.
like the bell's ringing for class, and we're still standing outside while she's spitting out names. Like, I gotta go.
And I think most of them don't even have an origin. She just
No.
continued to add whatever she felt like to that, because it started out with like 5.
Yes.
Like it started out like the length of my phone contact name, and then just kept growing as she just added more weird things to it.
Now
Yeah,
it's like now it's a metric length of the phone contact name.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much. Yeah.
Maybe 3 phone contact names if you're from America.
And I
Yeah.
think she almost had an alphabetical order. Like obviously the Z was out and the A was out because those are my actual names. And then,
Sure.
but I think anything in the middle was an alphabetical order. That might be incorrect, but I feel like that was.
I would swear like Queen Elizabeth was in there somewhere. I know at
Right at the
least
end. Yeah, come
They might have been in there
Zachary.
separately because I remember hearing Elizabeth. I remember hearing Queen. They might have been in different spots.
Zachary, Chris, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even think.
I don't think she sent it to me or anything, so I have no frame of reference here.
Yeah, I don't. I bet she doesn't remember it because she hasn't used it.
Oh,
in a while.
negative. No, definitely not. Probably not, sadly.
Caitlin, if you're listening to this, which you aren't, and you remember it, text it to
Yes.
us right now.
Right now, hurry up.
Watch Caitlin be a pagger.
A packer?
No. So I like posting on Reddit a lot because it gets people to listen to this podcast. It's surprising how that works.
Really?
But I posted on the r/alpharad TV.
Okay, yeah.
So, and I posted an image of Senpai Alfred, the episode, and I got a lot of very fun comments on it. Like I got, oh, PagChamp. I got Joe PagChamp Sniffy. I got Paggers sounds like a racially insensitive version of Poggers, which made me laugh. Like all of the things that are of the community, or of like any sort of internet thing that we're trying to make a community of for the podcast, Jackson and I don't want to actually make. Yeah. We want other people to decide what they are.
Yeah. You guys get the influence on this, which...
Like, quite literally, James sent me a text minutes before arriving here. I'm going to read it to you verbatim.
Oh, no.
All right? Because James, he's a pagger.
Yes.
James, if you're a pagger, upon listening to this, send me a text. All right?
Is this the one
He
with the
said...
covers?
Yes.
Yeah, he said, make a Pag OnlyFans and post pictures of various fans. I responded, you madman. Why haven't you become our internet guy yet? He said, I'm talking rotating fans, ceiling fans, box fans, all kinds of fans.
That's really
I told him to make it. I told if who knows?
See, the
We
other
could be
thing
making money for selling people pictures of fans.
The other thing we could do, and I think it's really, really funny, is one of our Patreon tiers could be, jokingly, it just says OnlyFans, and it's we just take like one of your selfies you send us and we put it on there.
Only Pags.
It's OnlyFans, and then it's like it's our fans.
It's our fans.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Just
I
fully-
guess
fully
so.
clothed.
That's above. What was our base one? What was our first
So
tier?
first tier is us uncensored.
Yes, that.
Yeah. We don't have a name for that.
Yeah, and then it goes from uncensored to.
Uncensored to like, hey, you get like access to chat rooms and all that junk, and you
Yeah.
get to talk to people. That would be like $1.
Yeah.
Okay,
$1?
we want the
Holy
uncensored
cow.
version to be like 5 cents.
Yeah, it's
It's
the lowest we can make it.
uncensored version. Yeah.
But like on the scale, like what was our max one?
Okay, our max one was like something like Jerry's toe picks.
Oh dang, how much?
We were thinking something stupid like $10,000.
Yeah, like nothing that anyone would ever do.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, you can rate our Patreon thing. Send us what a Patreon idea is, and we'll rate it from uncensored to Jerry's toe picks.
Yeah. But no, we were gonna have one be like, hey, you get. Well, I lost my train of thought. I'm being Jackson now.
Yeah.
Anyway, we would have one that was just going to be the body pillow.
The body pillows. Would you pick, because you would get, I think we should have one that's like our body pillows, then a little bit higher.
Is
like
Jerry's body
a
pillow.
singular
That's the $10,000
singular
one.
scent one higher.
Yeah.
Is Jerry's
Jerry
body.
is ascended.
Yeah.
Ascended.
Yes.
Okay, there we are. Zach, actually, I heard from a little bird named
boy.
Jackson Cartwright that
what?
you didn't believe Jerry was real.
Oh yeah, I had my doubts about it, but today we definitely saw he is definitely in fact a real person.
Okay,
and he
Jerry,
has a Magikarp head.
go ahead and shake this man's hand. Look at that. Look at that.
Camaraderie.
So,
What a guy.
You know something I just realized, Jackson? We never did the intro.
Yeah, no, I was gonna mention that. Like you just started talking to Zach, and I was like,
We just started talking. I
I
forgot
was
to
like, you didn't do the intro, but okay.
I welcome
18
perfect average guys.
Yeah, 19 minutes in. Hello, my name is Duncan Walla, and my opinions do not matter. With me, as always today, is Jackson Cartwright, looking sexy. Jackson, what do you want to say to the people?
He's lying.
Okay, first of all, I never lie on my birthday of all days. But in the audio chair is Jeremiah, Francis Cortez. I don't know why Jackson and Jerry have the same middle name. It's really awkward, but that's all right. And then in our guest chair, cheek to cheek with Jackson,
Yes.
is Zachary
Quite
Alvarado.
Well, you remember my name now.
I looked it up. I looked it up on Instagram.
Wow. I mean, hey, whatever works.
We figured it out.
Good stuff.
They're honestly, I'll get like follow requests on Instagram. Like, I probably know this person. Their username gives me no hints, and their picture is like not of them. It's of like some weird splash art. So I don't know who they are.
And then like everybody you know follows them, so you're like, I feel like I should know this person.
Yeah, like I'll get ones, and I have this girl requested to follow me, and I don't know who she is because it is it was because I went to her like page, and she looked to be like in her 20s, and it was all bikini pictures. But
That's a definite accept.
so, but I was like, how did this person find me? It was just random. But it's like Sophia. It was like, okay, so like it was like Sophia, Michaela, like a bunch of it was half cross country people, half people from school.
Huh.
Like I think Corinne followed her.
Really?
It was like, and then Lauren Garberg did, Elena did. And then it was like Aiden McLaughlin. I'm like, how?
One of these things is not like the other.
All of them go to Christ Prep or do sports at Christ Prep. And
All
then
of them
there's
are
Aiden.
women. And Aiden?
Yeah, there was who? Because I feel like one of the
You're
guys
looking
did.
at Zach as if he
Like-
had
like
As if
I
he
know
has
what's
any idea.
happening.
No, but there were definitely some guys. I think a lot. It wasn't Elias, but there was definitely some guys I recognized from. I think maybe it was Reese followed her. So did
Okay,
Rachel.
who has a child, wakes up the next morning and thinks, I'm gonna name this child Elias.
Wow, I was gonna name my child Elias. That's so offensive.
That's against somebody. It's like a person Elias. Like I can be friends with a person named Elias.
But you just
Is
can't
it a
name
Bible name?
But like, why would you name?
No,
It's just a random name.
yeah. it
Like
is-
why would you name someone Elias?
What are the origins of that name? Because
Well,
you're right.
you
It
can
kind of
you can spell them two ways. I'm figuring this out.
what?
All right,
The origins of the name Elias.
we have a detective Zach on it.
Correct. I
Origins
spelled that incorrectly.
Holy
of
crap!
name Elias.
Aliad. That's
Not the Iliad. No, PTSD.
Okay, so from medieval personal name, the New Testament Greek form of Hebrew Eliyahu, or Jehovah is God, anglicized as Elijah in the Old Testament of the King James Bible.
so it's
Is
just
the
kind.
D anglicized, D Greekified?
It's just like
No, anglicized is English.
Right.
Yeah.
so. It's the English version of Elijah.
I thought
basically.
they said it.
No. The English version. Now we're talking. The English version is Elijah, and the what is it? The Greek and Spanish and Catalan. I haven't even heard of that
Catalanic,
language.
maybe.
Portuguese and what is it? Welsh, French, and German, Dutch, Hungarian, and Czech and Jewish are all Elias.
Huh.
Interesting.
It's just been anglicized as Elijah.
Okay.
That's like nowhere close.
Yeah.
They just like, oh, let's throw a J in there somewhere. That's cool.
So the proper Jewish one, like for the prophet Elijah, is Eliyahu.
Eliyahu. And then they got Elias from that.
Yeah,
And then they got Elijah.
yeah. Well, no. A lot of words being translated from Hebrew to English follow some great patterns.
Some
here.
great patterns.
Like for instance, there is no J sound in Hebrew.
Yeah.
There's no J. So you might wonder, how did we get Jesus?
Or Jehovah.
So you have people like Yeshayahu is Isaiah. Yermayahu.
Yeah.
Yermayahu is Jeremiah.
Yeah.
But all of the Y's get changed to J's.
Yeah.
So like you get Yeshua, Yehoshua, those are Jesus.
Yeah.
It's great.
And then was it the US or is it just the S that's added because it has to be there for the Greek language to work? I don't remember.
The S and the ES are the ones that are just whack.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if you're having a singular noun in Greek, I'm pretty sure that you end up having an es at the end of a lot of the words.
It was Jesus, and it has an S on the end, because it's masculine, and if it didn't have the S on the end, or what became the S in the English language, whatever ending they put on it in Greek, it would have been feminine if they didn't put that on there. And then that ending gets translated to S.
For the Jesus.
For, yes.
Is it okay if he's doing that?
Yes, we just don't know if it decides to deactivate. Or we don't pay attention, it becomes a 2-hour-long podcast.
See, usually Jerry's supposed to be focusing on that, but he's currently playing... What are you playing on your phone,
He's
Jerry?
playing Summoner's
I
War.
thought he was asleep.
Summoner's
honestly.
War.
Yeah, they added the Street Fighter characters, and he's very
Ah.
hyped about that.
Why not play Shadow Legends? We should sponsor this podcast.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Play now for free.
Use code whatever.
The
You-
exact...
You use code SELLOUT from the Perfectly Average Guys podcast.
Oh, that would be great if we could...
That should totally be what we use for codes.
For codes, just sell out. Oh.
That's good.
love it.
So, Zach, I was gonna talk to you, but then I suddenly got the impulse to instead talk to Jackson.
That's all right.
Feel free to butt in. Jackson, how have you been?
Okay, here's something. I'm good. I've been doing something, and this is something Zach can comment on because it's one of his favorite shows. I've been watching, because I never got around to it, the new season of Clone Wars that's on Disney Plus, and I have almost made it through the second arc, because there's 3 arcs in it in the 12 episodes there are. First arc. We can talk about. Have you watched them, Duncan?
So I got a girlfriend,
Okay.
and
That
I
is-
started watching things with her instead of watching the things like with me. And then Community showed up, and I stopped watching Clone Wars because what was happening was I was trying to go through the entirety of the series.
Yeah.
I just hit a block, man. That block was named Alona Hoidu.
This is an unforgivable sin.
This
I'm
is
sorry, Zach.
This
Please
is, you can
forgive
show
me.
him a picture of most named clones, and he can probably tell you who they are.
Probably. That was legitimately my childhood.
I-
and my nowhood.
I 100% was watching it yesterday, and I was like, "Hey, this clone has the tattoo the Republic symbol on his face. What's his name?" Zach was like, "Oh yeah, it's Jesse." And it's like, "Thank you. I need to know who he was."
Yes.
So
So this is why you want to join the military.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, there was one point where I could probably name just about every Navy ship that we had. I can't anymore. I've lost that, but
he knows a lot about this stuff, but
You just wanted to have as compelling of an arc as Fives.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That's your life goal.
That's accurate.
yeah, we talked about that in composition class. Mrs. Ong was telling us that you can't just put your whole life story in a college application essay, and I was just like, that's because colleges are there for you to have an arc, and if they see your college application essay and they see you've already had your character arc, they're not going to let you into college.
That's good. There's some good philosophy there.
Yeah.
See, I just always say, write your college application essay about how much you love Che Guevara.
That'll work.
It'll
Every
get
time.
you in. It'll get you into any college. Yeah. I haven't tried it yet, but I want anyone out there to try it for me.
Anyone listening to this, even if you're not going to go to college, you're like 5.
Everybody should apply to the same college and just use that so they make it
Exactly.
sound like it's like
They just get flooded with 10,000 Che Guevara essays.
This is stuff we can do once we actually have a bunch of people listening to
Hey,
this.
everyone. Oh, man. The days.
The days.
go apply to Southern, Northern, Western, South Dakota University
Just like
of Technology.
what's the really liberal one down in California?
UCLA Berkeley?
UCLA Berkeley. Yeah, we can just all flood them with that.
Oh, man. I would totally be able to get in.
What if
we
we
should just flood them with Trump 2024.
what if we honestly just send all
2024?
we won't have that we won't have enough followers to do that by 2024.
12 years?
Yep.
Here's the secret: is we can just flood that college and all just with a bunch of college applications, and they all just say
He used finger quotes, by the way.
yeah, they all just say Daddy Shapiro,
Yes.
and that's it.
No, I would get it. They'd all get burned. No, because here's the thing. I'm decently moderate on basically all things, but I know one thing about colleges: they whack, man.
Facts.
They just whack. So you know UMKC?
Yes,
Okay, so UMKC. This is the college that my girlfriend currently goes to.
this is the college my mother works at.
Yeah, it's like UMKC. You know, inside Missouri, Kansas City, right?
Yes.
It's a decently center of America. Probably wouldn't be stupid. They threw acid at Michael Knowles when he gave a speech there. So it's like even the ones you would like be like, okay, this college is probably gonna be fine, right? It's in Missouri, Kansas City.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Missouri, Kansas, and I was like, wait, hold up.
Yes, Missouri, Kansas.
It's like how there's no way that this college of all colleges would throw acid at, you know, your most milquetoast conservative being like Michael Knowles. They did.
Tolerant left.
If I ever was friends with Michael Knowles,
See, the thing is, bringing that up makes you less tolerant.
I know. Yeah.
The irony is that pointing out that someone else is intolerant of you.
Yeah.
True.
I honestly, if I was friends with Michael Knowles, I would nickname him Inagu, and he wouldn't get it, but I would, and that would make me happy.
I got the joke.
Duncan gets it.
The joke is funny
definitely
to me. See, Zach doesn't play D&D because he's a good young man. He's a good young man.
Good young man. Right, so back onto the Clone Wars. We can go arc by arc, except I haven't seen the third one, but from what I've heard, that's the best one. So the first one is the Bad Batch.
Straight facts.
The Bad Batch arc, which is so much fun. It's literally a D&D campaign because it's all the stereotypical like army guys. You've got like the sniper, the cool hunter, the tech guy, and the big heavy gunner.
Yep.
And all of them are like defective clones that like have like desirable things. Like the big heavy gunner guy can like lift ships and stuff. It's like
You wouldn't have guessed.
you wouldn't know, really, yeah. But they have like the weirdest gadgets and like stuff they can do. But it's so fun because Rex is the one NPC where it's like it's like the king like assigns the general to work with the adventurers.
Yeah.
And Rex is like, we do this by the book, and they're like, nah, we're crazy. It's like because they're all sarcastic and kind of mean to each other, but they all love each other, and they have like their well-oiled machine playbooks.
What is this? Some sort of Suicide Squad?
They do make that joke that they're going on a suicide mission.
Yeah.
But the two coolest ones, in my opinion, because they're characters that
Jared
I like
Leto
playing.
as Joker.
Yes. No. But Crosshair, who's the sniper one, which he does the coolest thing.
That's such a good name for a sniper.
Yeah.
So dope.
He does the coolest thing. So there's a hallway, and like 30 plus battle droids are coming down it. And previously he had ran down the hallway, and they set this up earlier by showing you that he has these, and threw little like black discs on like the floors and the ceilings and stuff that we saw deflect laser blasts. So the droids are coming down the hallway, and he just picks it up, shoots one of them, and it bounces down the entire hallway and kills all of the droids in it.
Now we're talking.
And then Hunter.
And afterwards, he said, simple geometry.
Simple geometry.
And then Hunter, who's kind of their leader, his whole defect thing is he's just a D&D ranger with like heightened senses that can track people and like can track droids through like electromagnetic fields.
His
and
clone
stuff.
helmet has a blindfold in front of it.
Yeah,
So that he can aim just as poorly as before.
But then he uses, I think they're vibro, because that's the only other type of melee weapon in the entirety of Star Wars. He has like a vibro knife and like a vibro. It's longer. It's more like a machine.
A Tonto.
Tonto, yeah. He has those,
Bowie
and
knife.
he just melee fights the battle droids as a clone, and like hunting knife stabs them and flips and stuff. It's like, that's cool. Seeing a clone with like a combat knife is so much fun.
Is it Cody on the Rishi Moon one who pulls a commando droid's head off? Do you remember that? The ones, it was where we see Fives and Heavy and...
I know one
Rest
of...
in peace, Heavy.
For real, though.
I know
What a
one
G.
of the clones in like the first episode with Yoda uses a battle droid's head as a weapon, like so hitting the other droids with it.
Yeah.
And I know in the first ever appearance of Cody in the Clone Wars movie, which isn't actually that good.
No, it's bad. It's real bad.
It's not good.
Okay, about that, like I'm not like big into like movies and stuff, and like I don't know what all you guys know, but I can just tell you, it says in the opening screen, it says right after, you know, when Attack of the Clones, Attack on Geonosis happens. This is supposed to take part directly afterwards. They travel to find General Grievous, but they already have painted armor.
Yeah.
From battalions, and you see from the Attack of the Clones, it's ranks that are painted.
Yeah.
And so that would have had to have been super quick. There's like, oh well, we don't care about regulations anymore. So
it was,
anyways,
who had the paint to, when was like the movie?
yes, the Clone Wars movie.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember because the Clone Wars is an anthology series, so it's not in order. The first, that is right after. But so the first chronological episode, which is the one where they have the space battle to get onto that planet that they're in on the movie, is episode 16 in season 2. And they fight Mr. Spider Guy, who comes back in the Bad Batch one.
I hate that dude.
He's nice.
He's creepy though.
Yeah.
He's super creepy.
That was
Good
that
job.
was a weirdly like offbeat moment, and it was the one complaint I had with the Bad Batch thing is the trench guy like tries to like kill Anakin, Anakin stabs him, and then like you see him like kind of collapse, and then later you see him like he stumbles forward and like falls over, and they have like this like kind of the Clone Wars fanfare type thing where it does like a da-da-da and like drops, but it's like a victory thing as Anakin leaves, and as Anakin's running away he says, "It was a pleasure, Admiral," and like leaves. And like, okay, yeah, that's something Anakin would say, and it did like the, you know, like end of the scene victory fanfare type thing. But then it has like a ba-da-ba-da and like a comedic type thing, which kind of threw me off and like tonally. I was like, normally even if it's like a darkly comedic moment, the music doesn't always go with it. A lot of times it was like, yeah, and the music ended there, and there was like a break, and then it did the weird like
Yay!
crash. Yeah, it did like a crash type thing. Like
up.
that's just off.
Wait a minute. Something ain't
Yeah,
right.
but you know, I actually really like those episodes. There's got like flying battle droids. It's super fun. Anyone who likes clones and like that whole idea will like those episodes. Like Anakin gets picked up by like a pterodactyl, and then the hunter guy grapples onto him and like is hanging on and trying to shoot the thing as they go flying through the air. It's fun episodes.
Who's your favorite clone trooper?
Favorite clone trooper?
Good choice.
In the combination of the two, because you can't really. If I had to pick one, it would be Waxer, but Boyle and Waxer.
Yeah.
I love those
Dream
two.
team right there.
Mostly just because I remember, because I watched a lot of Clone Wars, like parts of it when it was coming out, but I would end up with watching reruns also a lot of time. I loved and then also you got to play as them in the Clone Wars Lego game, because it was pretty much just season 1 was the Clone Wars Lego game.
And it was subpar to the Star Wars game.
Yeah, no, it was subpar.
But it was still good.
But they're the kind of the main-ish clones of under Cody in the whole Geonosis arc, which you got to play a bunch in the Lego game. Minus they did cut out of the parts where it's like the mind controlling worms in the nose.
Yeah.
That was great.
Which
That
was great.
that
Probably
was
wouldn't have
awesome.
gone well in the Lego game.
It was awesome.
But yeah, I loved Boyle and Waxer and also but they're fun clones. I don't remember what happens to Boyle. He just kind of fades out.
what happens to Boyle.
And we know what happens to Waxer.
Yeah,
Dies
they
during
did him dirty.
during the Umbara arc.
Yeah, that was
Which
great. That was one of the
that's
best
such a good
parts.
arc with freaking evil. I don't even know what that alien species is called, but it's the evil Jedi guy.
Oh, Pon Krell.
Krell, yeah, but he's the same species as the
that's
diner guy in Attack of the Clones.
That's one of the. I now know what the Umbara arc is, and once you mentioned that guy, I was like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah,
that's
forearm,
solid.
man.
That one was good. But now we move on to the second arc that I'm like halfway through the last episode of, and it literally begins with, you know, Ahsoka driving away from the Jedi Temple. I'm like, okay, Ahsoka going out on her own. She's gonna like, you know, see what she's trying to do next with life. Interesting. I think I would like that. She like crashes her speeder bike in this like mechanic thing, and she meets two characters, pulled from Star Wars Rebels. Not like they're in the show, but they're written like characters from Star Wars Rebels, which is an insult.
Zach, I'm assuming that you hate Rebels, right?
I don't enjoy it. No.
It's just not good.
No.
Let's go over.
It's so
yeah.
infuriating.
All the
It's
characters who
very
are good in
bad.
Rebels, Hera and Kanan.
I never actually watched Star Wars Rebels.
I did.
merely saw it on, you know, Cartoon Network occasionally and was like, eh?
I watched the first season and like a little bit of the second season, and
It's like the
That was me
sequels.
with Supergirl, man.
It's like
same.
It's like the sequels. It adds nothing good. It's just there
There's
if you want to watch.
I don't know. The sequels have a few good things.
Yeah,
I
that's-
mean,
That's
Those
a
are good
big
things.
negative. They're hot trash.
no. I think you'll agree with me when
Force
when I-
Awakens is all right. The other ones are trash. I couldn't even tell you what the plot is about. It's so convoluted and just.
That's
doesn't
I
follow
mean,
anything.
that's because the
you-
Emperor came back in a Fortnite crossover.
Yeah, for real though.
Hey.
I enjoyed Rise of
can't-
Skywalker.
You want to know what my favorite part was?
What's that?
So you know all of the cute little animals that they added?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, the porgs. Come on, you can't tell me that was
See.
bad.
I mean,
The poor one. I like the little crystal foxes though.
One-
like the
those
salt
was
foxes.
awesome in episode 8,
Those
yeah.
were all
So
like
cool.
that was probably the coolest thing in episode 8.
Yeah.
dude, the
That and just there's the
And
perfect.
then they had lightsabers in their hands and were posed coolly, and the score was good.
Yeah.
And the scenes, they looked great.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they
that's the
looked great.
weird duality. Is okay. Go to last
Mind
Jedi.
you, that's the I'm really reaching here for
yeah.
good things to find in the
Duncan doesn't
sequel.
like Last Jedi.
you gotta get the bottom of the
I'm not a
barrel
big
on
fan
that
of it either, but as a filmmaker, there's this weird duality in my brain of one scene that is great in some aspects and terribly horrible in some others, and that is the Red Guard fight.
Yeah.
Because as a stunt guy, that is one of the worst fight scenes ever because they didn't use stunt doubles.
Yeah, it was just yeah. So if you ever want to make Coleman Taylor, who if you were listening to episode 11, you would know that Coleman Taylor is the one who said use your wife as a tool for you. Yeah, this man, he does Ronin Stunt Company. Shout out, great dude, love him, known him for years. If you ever want to make this man break something, just put something in his hands, and then say, episode 8.
And he will shatter. It will be a cinder block, and it will just crumble to dust.
It's like it's just you just whisper sweet nothings into his ear, and then he just makes sweet nothings of whatever's in his hands.
It's great. But so yeah, what I'm disappointed because there were
It's specifically because of this fight scene, by the way.
Yes,
Why
yeah.
he hates the whole movie.
Yeah. There were like cool ideas of the Red Guard's weapons, like the chain sword, and there was the thing where Kylo Ren catches lightsaber and turns it on, off and off quick. That was kind of cool. But everything else in the whole of the fight sucked. Here, I kind of like the Red Guard like exploding when he fell into the thing. That was fun.
Yeah.
But from a cinematography and like art direction thing, the way that room looked and like the design of their armor and everything, it just like when I first watched it, I didn't notice how bad the stunt choreography was because I was too enveloped with
Because it was flashy and entertaining, but ultimately empty,
yes,
Yeah.
like Hollywood.
oof,
Big facts.
yeah. You were correct.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Return of the Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, excuse me, Rise of Skywalker.
Don't you dare compare.
Yeah, I
the
know.
two.
For real. Is that the one where they send us one of the cruisers through another cruiser?
No, that's episode
No,
8.
that's episode
That
8.
episode 8 as well.
Hey, that
it's even
scene
more
looked
trash.
great. Scene looked great, even
That
if it made
did not work.
not
It just, like,
motivated. Yeah.
what?
I mean, like I'm thinking because that's always something that I've always actually kind of joked about of hyperspace is like, what if some ship is just sitting there, you just blast through it?
Yeah, no, suicide bombing. It would be because especially if you have like the droids, right?
Yeah.
Droid powered. It's what we do in real life. all
Yeah.
right? We're sending drones to bomb places
Right.
like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, come on. Of course they would do this in Star Wars, but it would make every battle so not fun.
Yeah.
No, just-
but then doing it like the
hype-
once with like a huge ship
It was,
and then like the silence of space.
you know, the silence. Everyone was like, oh boy, oh dear, that was cool.
That was it was cool. Nothing leading up to that was
No?
the Admiral lady.
Admiral Pink Hair.
And
Yeah.
then Leia
Also, I
going Superman on us.
Mary Poppins, excuse me?
I believe Jackson and I have an edict that we follow whenever that scene comes up, where we shout, "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all."
I love it. But also, I just like to point out that Poe Dameron is 3 different characters. He's a different character in every movie. I think there's just triplets.
That's the truth.
And there's just 3 of them.
It's like the three
It's
Jokers.
the 3 Jokers, yeah. It's like the 3 Jokers, except it's 3 Poe Damerons.
The thing is with the sequels, it's just a recycle of the originals. Honestly, they're trying to just rearrange it. So Poe Dameron's kind of supposed to be, the space cowboy, the Han Solo.
As
don't-
I've said, no, you can never replicate Han Solo
Yeah.
Oh no.
unless
I-
your name is Harrison Ford before the age of 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just fail
Yeah.
because, like you're saying, every single movie he's different.
Yeah,
He's a different guy.
I've seen some Cosmonaut. He did a good one, kind of talking about them, and I agree with a lot of the stuff he said, just talking about them in Force Awakens.
No, the Force Awakens is quite literally a beat for beat
Yeah,
replication of Episode 4.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that because
I'm
Episode
fine
4
with
is
that
great.
too.
mind you, the belief would be that, hey, J.J. Abrams is pulling us along to try and be back in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right?
And then they got rid of him for the I'm honestly of the opinion, if they had kept him for all 3, it would be better than it is.
Oh, because a good portion of Episode 9 is trying to pick up the pieces from Episode 8.
Episode 9 is J.J. Abrams' Episode 8 and Episode 9.
Yeah.
It's both.
And I think that if he had full direction, great things would happen.
Yeah.
But here's my counterpoint to the theory that if J.J. Abrams had all 3, it would be good. There's still Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
And even still, in Episode 7, the main character, Rey, deserved nothing. Not a single thing that she did in the entirety of that movie was earned.
No.
Yeah.
Hard fought. Something that had a struggle or conflict that she occasionally lost, but eventually overcame.
Yeah.
That's not a story. No. You can't have a story without conflict. Yeah. And Episode 7, if it was going by J.J. Abrams, I mean, I personally think that if you're going to write a good female character, because in doing D&D, right, you'll notice that, Jackson, I have very, very few female characters in D&D.
Yes.
I suck at acting women, and I suck at writing female characters.
Yeah.
I'm just really bad
Hope
about
Resch.
Hope Resch, Isabel Resch, I noticed that they have the same last name.
Very different people, but they were good. I enjoyed
Lolth.
Lolth.
Yep.
That's because
Kayla.
But both of them were children for... Kayla was a child for the entirety of it, and then Lolth was a child for a good portion of it.
Well, Lolth as a child still... The point I'm trying to make about female characters is that I think that people do them so poorly.
Yeah.
So often. And here's the thing. You can be a bad writer and just write a bunch of bad characters. But here's the thing. I can write a lot of good male characters. Yeah. I just struggle with writing good female characters. So I've had to learn how to write good female characters.
Really ironic is probably one of the best written female characters is Hera from Star Wars Rebels.
I don't know her, but she would probably not beat my hierarchy of Casca from Berserk.
Yeah, no, she's not as good as any of them.
Ahsoka.
She's not as good as Ahsoka.
No one will be as good as Ahsoka.
Yeah.
She's the best tomboy ever written.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I haven't even finished Star Wars: The Clone Wars, but she's the best. She's seriously incredibly well done.
Yeah.
You don't take her as, oh look, I'm a girl but acting like a boy. Haha.
Yeah.
It's not. It never comes off as that, but that's the ultimate effect, right?
Yeah.
She's a very, very strong head first type of woman. She reminds me of my sisters.
Yeah.
Right. It's done very well. But the thing about Ahsoka, because you can compare Rey to Ahsoka very easily.
Yeah.
You know, two people who are young, didn't really know that they were going to be Jedi, and are struggling with it, and are trying to be written as, you know, modern women.
Yeah.
Right. They're both trying to be written as good, like powerful women. But you'll notice that Rey is done so poorly.
Yeah.
Because Ahsoka constantly fails.
Yes.
Throughout that series. Just every which way. It'll be in an episode. It'll be in an arc. And she occasionally... The thing is that they do really well is that she still teaches Anakin things. I'm thinking especially of the Prison Break arc. What is that one? But it's the one where Ahsoka is not being brought on. Right? So Anakin's like, no, you have to. I'm leaving you behind, and he brings Ahsoka. But Ahsoka eventually, like, what is it? Sneaks on is there on the mission. Okay. And if she wasn't there, they were going to lose. That's like, hey, she's helpful even though she's not very good yet. But then she gets better and better and better to the point where she's wielding 2 lightsabers and it doesn't feel forced.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
And to compare that to Rey, who this is in episode 7, it's more excusable. It's more excusable. All right, because. When you have one whole movie, it's difficult to do it. It can be done. I'm not like lowering the standard, but I'm just saying I can understand it. I personally think that to make episode 7 perfect, sorry, but Finn should have died. He got struck by a lightsaber. Also, Rey should have lost an arm. Okay. She should have lost a hand. She should have lost something in the fight with Kylo Ren. She should not have won that fight. If it changed it that way to where she lost, right? That would be great. If she lost,
that would be really interesting.
Movie.
I do think there's precedent for her winning, but I still think she should have lost like a hand or like gotten wounded in some way.
I don't know. She hasn't trained at all.
Yeah, she never picked up a lightsaber.
My only thing is here's the one thing, and there is that. She kind of uses her like weird staff thing. It's not like completely the same. It's definitely not the same as a lightsaber. But here's
But
the thing.
you're saying that she's used to scrapping. She's used to fighting. Yeah.
But
okay.
here's the thing. We are specifically shown, and this is actually the thing Cosmonaut brings up. Kylo Ren is shot before that fight with a Wookiee bowcaster. And then it's like, everyone's like, why is he beating his chest during that? He's like trying to stop the bleeding. You see he's like bleeding on the thing. Look in the rest of that movie. They make jokes about people getting just blown 20 feet by a Wookiee bowcaster.
Oh no! But here's my counterpoint to that. Why didn't Kylo Ren catch the laser? Remember in scene one, a really cool scene that was inside the freaking trailers, where he catches a laser that is coming from behind him. He has no way of knowing it's there, catches it. And if you give me the stupid crap, oh, he just killed his father, he's emotionally hurt. No, he wasn't!
The entire point is he wasn't emotionally
That he wasn't hurt by it, and he didn't care. So I did that whole thing about that he should never have been shot. And that's not an excuse for him to lose, because even a shot Sith Lord who's been training his whole life, literally from age, like, he's shown being really young little boy training with lightsaber.
Yeah.
Being beaten by Rey after 3 minutes of screen time?
Yeah.
Nah, and it's like, I know that, Kylo Ren, I think Kylo Ren's the best part of the entire trilogy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right? I think Adam Driver does the best job with him. I think that...
Because Adam Driver's a good actor.
Well, I'm not saying Daisy Ridley's not a good actor.
No, yeah, it's not that she's bad.
But she's I think Kylo Ren was written better.
Yes.
And Adam Driver is a very compelling actor for it.
So I think it's really interesting that they somehow made a worse female character than Rey in that series.
Rose?
Yes. My least favorite character in all of Star Wars.
I like, here's the thing. There's something about writing a character with a specific gender that whether you like it or not, it's going to have to matter.
Yeah.
Okay? You can write throwaway characters where it doesn't really matter what their gender is. That's so many NPCs I give you in D&D.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't care. It's this person, it's that person. They don't even have a name. Okay? Rose is one of those characters. Why does she have a name? Why does she have anything? Why is she, like, okay, so she's Asian, I get it, Kathleen Kennedy, but give me a reason for why she should exist. She has no character.
Her like main thing was that she liked Finn after they kind of separated.
Also,
Finn?
why didn't Finn die in episode 8 as well? Why didn't he sacrifice himself?
100%. That's when he should have died. I agree completely.
Why even remove any sort of power of sacrifice from the film?
But also, what the heck is Finn's actual love life? Because he has a different romantic setup in every single one. And in episode 9, he has 2. Because he has his things like, oh, what's he gonna tell Rey? But then he also has the lady who he definitely flirts with. That's
the
like
former clone.
Stormtrooper.
Yes. Yeah.
And then he has Rose in episode 8, and then he him and Rey kind of set it up.
It's definitely meant to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
And then none of them ever happen?
It's because Finn is handled very poorly.
Which is upsetting, because, what's his name? The actor for...
I forget the actor's name, but I know he's good.
Yeah, no, he's a very good actor.
And here's the thing. That entire movie is high budget. It is. It has all the right things that it needs, except a script.
Yeah.
Literally every
some brain cells.
Like Jackson, imagine if you were given that sort of budget with that sort of caliber.
I have really good ideas. Here's the funny thing is, I always have really good ideas for basic plots, cinematography, action. I cannot write scripts.
Okay, give me a story.
Yeah, I cannot
I have
write.
1,000 stories I could write for that.
I'm so bad at writing.
But like,
that's why I'm using Tomb of Annihilation, because I cannot write.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I have, like, if I had the budget of one of those movies to be like, hey, here's a story I have, I really want it to be good. I really want it to, A, check boxes, B, make money. Mm-hmm. I think that it loses a lot.
And that also is kind of a Disney problem of checking boxes and making money.
Not with Marvel. Marvel's doing great.
Yeah, Marvel's doing great.
Marvel's still entertaining, flashy, like, westerns, basically.
I feel like that's the Marvel universe, though. You can kind of add whatever you want. Star Wars is kind of like the fans are
Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man, people were down for whatever.
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Which
because those 3 films were basically like, okay, it's intergalactic, there is magic, and we're not gonna make it an epic. It can be a comedy.
It's a lot of fun. Personally, we kind of want to talk. We can talk about because I have a few that I feel like are fairly interesting and or controversial Marvel opinions, based on I honestly
You like Captain Marvel.
no.
That's the most controversial opinion you can have.
I love Infinity War. I love Endgame. Like I love those culmination ones. But a lot of times I really just find myself enjoying like a couple of the ones that just like don't really have to do with everything else, that are just kind of more calm and relaxed.
You want it to just be a simple story. You don't want it to be the massive comic.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
It can be kind of both. I didn't think about this until I watched something that was talking about it. Then now in my opinion, the best part of Thor Ragnarok was the part with Doctor Strange in it, because that's literally how Doctor Strange is in the comics. Is he doesn't really even have his own comics. He kind of does, but a lot of times he'll just show up in other people's stories for a little bit and be like, "I'm gonna help you with this."
Okay.
And that's a lot of what he does. Doctor Strange, looking back, is probably my favorite Marvel movie, just because I have a lot of fun with it.
My favorite is Thor Ragnarok. I hate that
Wasn't that
film.
what everybody was saying in comp?
What was the one? Everyone was saying, the teacher said MCU, but because a lot of people in our class are stupid, like a third of the class said Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Which I found very amusing.
Like,
Into the Spider-Verse is also... that would be my favorite one.
If it was, it's so good.
That film is
but I
pure Shakespeare, man. That film is good.
And then I have two other ones that I feel like are fairly controversial. One, I like Iron Man 3.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah,
it's probably one of my favorites.
it's definitely better now that we've had a few years to sit on it.
Because I remember everyone was telling me it was like the worst one ever, and I didn't watch it when it came out. Like it came out, I had seen all the other ones.
Stupid,
and
right?
then I just
So comic book fans did not want extremists.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't want them. They wanted the actual. Oh God, now I'm blanking on the name.
Mandarin.
Mandarin. They wanted the Mandarin because he's super cool.
Yes.
Especially the people like you and me who grew up. We probably grew up with the Iron Man TV show. Did you ever watch that? Man, the Mandarin is so cool.
Yeah, no, but I know
and collecting all of the
cool.
rings. That's 100% the inspiration for the Xerxes rings in D&D.
Yeah.
So it's like that's super cool. Everyone wanted the Mandarin. Then you just got the extremists, so comic book fans don't like it, and casual fans usually do not pick up on big 3-arc motifs. Right?
Yes.
Most casual people do not appreciate it for like, oh man, it's amazing that he doesn't have a suit the whole time.
Yeah.
Because that's what's set up in for the first movie, that hey, it's the man that matters.
Yeah.
Not the material, not the things that he has.
And
that's the whole message of it. And it gets to the culmination in movie 3 when it's like he quite literally is just a man.
It has a few, like, it has honestly some pretty good humor. It's got some cool action. He actually like blasts the dude through the chest with a unibeam, which was cool.
Was awesome.
Yeah.
It's the first like Marvel movie in a while that just straight up has I'm just going to specifically go out of my way to save all these people type scene where he like saves everyone in the plane.
He's a superhero instead of just
fight bad guy.
Look at this. Yeah.
Like which is, super, which I always appreciate. Like I didn't realize how much I appreciated that.
It's like, what is it? Robert Downey Jr. is the main character of Marvel, right?
Yeah.
And this, like, the point I make with this is that if you take the 3 Iron Man movies, all of them are good.
Yeah.
I think all of them are great, and all of them have that same motif of it's the man that matters.
Yeah.
And then you get him talking to Peter Parker, saying, if you're nothing without the suit, you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
That's just one
perfect.
line that covers the entire all 3 of the movies, which was. They probably just should have said it in the movies, but the fact that it said later on
it's
in a
so
cameo of his,
And
I think
even,
that
like,
all 3 of the Iron Man movies. Are good.
his whole thing where he like fights the lady in like the Nashville like during the snow, like that's such a comic book thing.
That
and
scene is good.
He uses his actual superpower, which is how smart he is to beat her. It's like he literally blows her up with dog tags and sends her into a power line. Like that's just cool. And she's like blasting at him with a shotgun because like I remember I watched the movie for the first time, and I watched it on my phone in the Disney Plus app. And even like that scene, I was like, how the heck is he actually gonna make it? Like even my brain, I couldn't think of how he was gonna win this. And then the plane scene, I was like, I
Yep.
felt so much tension, and I was like, I'm watching this on my phone.
It's not the same with other. In the big screen, it was better.
Oh yeah, no, I can guarantee it's better.
Because did you watch it when it came out?
No, I actually didn't. That
man.
was one of the ones I didn't watch when it came out. I remember I went somewhere one night, like I think I was just gonna go hang out with my friends, and then the rest of my family watched it on like television or something.
How dare they?
Well, the thing is, I didn't, because none of them had heard anything about it, and all I had heard is how terrible of a movie it was.
It's not, man.
So I
the thing
didn't
is,
watch
if you're gonna think that movie is terrible, okay, first of all, you have to throw out all 3 Thor movies,
All of them.
all 3 of them,
Yeah.
because this is the point that I made earlier that you can have the entertainment and all the caliber of it in the Flash, but it's ultimately empty, right? That's what a lot of the Marvel movies are if you squint a bit too hard. And they just break after a little while. If you're like, they're just meant to entertain me and make $1 billion. What? But you need to be the proper audience
Yeah.
member. Because I think for any sort of media you're trying to intake, you need to be like, okay, what's the audience that this
Intended.
writer is intending to go to?
Yeah.
And for all of the Marvel movies, it's someone who wants to have a good time.
Yeah.
And someone who's like wants to have a really good time and who enjoys looking at like, character motivation and arc. Us two
Yeah.
see a lot of other things in
Yeah.
it, and we enjoy it even more. So it's all about
Yeah.
the enjoyment value of it. So in that, the third Iron Man movie is definitely enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny. It's the funniest out of all 3 of them.
Oh, most definitely. And Rhodey gets to have like Rhodey's fun in it. I
Yep.
love the scene where he has like all his like weird homemade gadgets and he's taking out all the dudes in like a Metal Gear like
Yeah.
funny thing.
It's done well, but that's my defense of Iron Man 3. I'm not
yeah.
super passionate about it,
Yeah.
but
I love
that's
it.
that's my defense of it.
It's probably one of like my top 5 favorite ones. Like I love it. I probably need
Zach.
to watch it again.
I just had an observation. Whenever
Yes.
Jackson and I are talking about anything nerdy, we suddenly sound like the podcast is put on 1.5 times speed
Yes.
Pretty much.
because we talk very fast. Zach, what's your favorite Marvel movie? I mean, Captain Marvel because it's a fighter pilot, I would assume.
No, definitely not. Captain America is obviously my favorite superhero. I don't think that's any
Okay.
would be any surprise.
Wh-
But
which of the 3? Because my favorite Captain America one is Winter Soldier.
Mine as well.
I like the first Avenger.
Okay, because the
I
first
like-
Avenger is great because he's punching Nazis.
Right,
Yeah.
And
exactly.
there's a very visceral joy
There-
seeing a
yes,
good
there-
guy
yes, there
punch a
definitely
Nazi.
is.
So yeah, over this last few days, I watched a bunch of Cosmonaut, but I watched his reviewing of all the Marvel movies. It's funny how like I super agree with him on some stuff and don't agree with him on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's how a good reviewer should be.
Yeah, that's
They should.
and,
But
and
see,
I love it
what
so
a good
much.
reviewer needs. I'm stealing this directly from Dungy, by the way.
Yeah.
A good reviewer needs to have a consistent opinion.
Yeah, think because like he doesn't like Civil War. I like Civil War. It's not like one of my favorites, but it's good.
It's a really good Avengers film.
Black Panther is written better in that than he is in his own movie,
Oh,
and I
man.
agree with him on that as well.
So you know what's really.
I also
so,
agree on his quote that says, when he was reviewing Black Panther, he goes, "I'm lucky I'm black because white people's only opinion they're allowed to have on Black Panther is, yeah, it was good, it was fun." He has like a stock photo of a white guy with like a
Wait,
thumbs up.
the guy over Cosmonaut's black?
Yes.
I didn't know, but that just goes to show you how little I care. But
Cancel.
Cancel.
how colorblind I am.
Yes.
There you go.
But what is it? Alona. So for her, what was it? She has a stupid class at UMKC that's all
Perfect.
about. It's like first semester experience.
What?
She
Is this like in Minecraft, you throw the experience bottles?
yeah, she's getting like 5 credit hours for it.
That's
But
pretty
it's
nice.
basically just a bunch of garbage. All right, so she's reading, what is it? She's not reading White Fragility. She's reading a different stupid book. I think it's How to Be an Anti-Racist by
Oh yeah,
I forget the author. What's
What?
the name? Ibram Kendi.
yeah.
So she's reading that, and one of her first assignments was to go watch Black Panther.
That's funny.
Now, everything about that class can be explained by the course material, How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram Kendi, and the fact that it's really stupid and is a waste of her time.
Yeah.
But she was like, Duncan, I don't want to watch Black Panther alone, so I went and watched it with her. It was a great time. But the thing I brought up to her several times was, so have you watched Civil War? And she said, no. I was like, girl, okay. But in Civil War, Black Panther is all about, revenge.
Yeah.
And he kills people.
Yeah.
And he's very intimidating. Literally, Black Panther is supposed to happen like days after Civil War,
Yeah.
right? It's supposed to happen days after because it starts immediately with him coming back and saying, hey, my father's dead.
Yeah.
So, as is happening days after, he goes from vengeance, murder, kill spree to I never freeze. And it's like when you take it in context of that, I think that Black Panther, well, an amazing film,
Yeah.
is the most out of place.
Yeah.
Of
'Cause
all of the Marvel
I
films.
like a lot of it. I like the soundtrack. I like the costumes.
The costumes are so good. So
I like
Black
the-
Panther won 3 Oscars.
Yeah.
2, one of which was undeserved. One of which I could see it. The last of which totally deserved. The best costume art.
It was
so
so much
deserved.
fun.
So amazingly done.
And then there's an interesting thing with a few of like the characters that I think is off. I really like Killmonger. I love Claw. I don't know why.
I'm so sad they killed him.
But I love him. Probably just because it's Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
He's a great actor. He's nuts. He was my favorite part of that movie. Probably like he was so much fun. But then I like him. I like Black
so
Panther's.
the one that I didn't think it deserved was best production design
Okay.
because of the CGI.
Oh yeah, no.
The worst CGI in a Marvel film.
Yeah, no. It's absolutely terrible.
The best original score, I was like, kinda
Yeah,
get it.
I liked
I think the part of what makes the score so good is that it takes African like tribal music and rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's only one classical score in the entire thing, and that's in the scene where he's seeing the Black Panthers again after
Yes.
taking in the heart-shaped herb.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Those are the only 2 ones that actually have no classical score, and it's really good in those
Yeah.
ones. But I think that it's really clever for how it takes
No, it's
you know,
super good.
tribal music and
I
rap.
like it.
How do you mix those two?
And I honestly, it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Something that I agree with a few people who said this is his like attention in like relationships feels so split. Like I think remove the pretty forced love interest, and then make him like less close with I don't remember her name, but the guard lady.
Yeah.
And focus on his relationship with his sister and his mother, because his mother does nothing in that entire movie but stand there.
Yeah, you're right. Mind you, they have a lot. Like they looked at Hollywood and were like, okay, we're gonna get some of the best actors that we can ever get, and
Yeah.
they got so many of them, including Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah.
It's like,
And he's great.
but it's like
He's also like him and Claw are hilarious.
But no, it's
they're
like
the-
I forget the name of the actress who plays the mother. She's so good. It's
Yeah.
a shame that she doesn't have more than
I
2
know.
lines. It's a real shame. Also, speaking of the costume design, the white dreads with everything just looked so good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, but
There's definitely parts Black Panther has a lot of parts I loved, and a lot of parts I'm like, this.
I love the movie, but
Yeah.
I think that the CGI is bad. I think that people's reaction to it was a little silly. I also think that Killmonger is one of the best villains in
Yeah,
Marvel.
definitely.
So well done because he's just absolutely one part justified, and everyone should take it as okay, because when everyone was like Killmonger was right, #Killmonger was right, no, he wasn't.
Right now, that's what's happening.
Yikes. But no, because like Killmonger said, we're gonna go across the world and kill all of the leaders, kill everyone, and it's like, okay, so he would be a Marxist or a Nazi. Actually, either one would fit for him, but we would assume that he's a Nazi.
That moment Killmonger high fives.
No,
Red Skull.
because he wants because the guy wants racial supremacy, and that's like a terrifying thing. Period. Especially as a Jew. And it's like it's a very
Flashbacks.
terrifying character, but he feels so justified in everything. He feels justified, and having a justified character with that crazy of a goal, where he's like, "Hey, I was hurt.
Yeah.
I was hurt personally by this. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna change the world to where I'll never be hurt again." And it's like,
Yep.
you know what?
Guess
I
who
can't.
Guess
I
who
can't
else
really
has
deny
that? Guess who else has that motivation as one of the best villains ever? Magneto.
Yeah. And he kills Nazis. It's great.
Yeah.
We love him for it.
It's great, and yeah. So that's Magneto's just so good, and Michael Fassbender does such
Yep.
a good job.
Well, the thing is, since we're still on Black Panther, the reason why T'Challa is a good character throughout the entirety of the film, because he doesn't really do so much right,
Yeah.
as in he is showing the right way to act
Yeah.
compared with Killmonger.
Yes.
Who has a justified grievance, acting in the complete wrong way. Black Panther is learning from these things and eventually is trying to help in the right way. He doesn't actually say anything that's profound in the entire film. And Black Panther is like, okay, you would be way worse if you didn't have so great a villain to kick you off with.
Yeah.
That's my whole opinion of Black Panther, is that it's made by Killmonger.
Yeah. So we went over my Iron Man 3, and the other one is because I know a lot of people dislike this movie, and I honestly really love it. I can't 100% say why, because all the criticism with it, a lot of it I agree with, but I still love it anyway, and that is Age of Ultron.
Yeah. That's fair.
It's incredibly inferior to the original and Avengers 3 Civil War.
Yeah. But something I think is I watched it again fairly recently, and the thing obviously has Claw in it, and Claw's great.
Yeah,
but
not nearly as good as he is in Black Panther.
Not nearly as good, but he's still fun. I just something with James Spader's performance as Ultron.
That's my least favorite thing about the entire film.
Really? I get why. Here's the thing that I think we have
He sounds like a human.
Yes.
And he's trying to be a relatable villain.
Here's the
Don't make Ultron relatable. Make him alien and unknowable.
What's interesting is, yes, I figured you would have that opinion. My thing is, I've never been an Ultron fan in anything. In like the Avengers Assemble TV show, anything like that, I'm like...
What about Avengers Earth's Mightiest Hero?
I haven't watched that.
I think it's still on Netflix. That's a good TV show.
I was just kind of like...
It's a good cartoon.
I was just like, he's just scary robot man who can transfer his brain to anything electronic.
Okay, in the Earth's Mightiest Hero, and what is it? I forget the comic that my dad had.
Yeah.
With Ultron in it.
He can be scary, but a lot of the stuff I've seen him in, he's not, like, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's robot man, and they beat up robots. Fun.
Yeah.
But
you don't watch Doctor Who either.
I started.
So do you know anything about the Cybermen?
Yes, I do know about that.
Okay, so Ultron is essentially... Ultron and the Cybermen are basically the exact same concept.
Yeah.
In that... Okay, so if you give a computer... like basically something as rational as humanly possible, everything about humanity, the computer would decide humanity doesn't deserve to live.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for how... Also, it's the sort of thing where it's like, hey, wow, human beings can be really, really, really awful to each other.
Yeah.
Like no other. The human wickedness is unbound.
Yeah.
I say this again, as I do, to make the point... To make the point
clear. In case you missed it.
Yeah.
In case you haven't figured it out by now.
To make the point clear about why I'm saying this, human wickedness knows no bounds. Mm-hmm. So if you give someone totally rational, it's like, yeah, I hate humanity. Yeah. And then they decide that. And then they just try to wipe out humanity. It's like, you know what? That's kind of compelling.
Yeah.
It doesn't... That's enough.
It's very... I definitely think that's an interesting concept. But my thing is, what I love is I never picked up on him trying to be like some relatable villain that you would think of.
Why did you make jokes then in one-liners?
But what I always got from that is he's like not I don't know how to say this 100% correctly, but it's very much that he's basically kind of an like anti-Iron Man, I guess, is not
that's what they're going for.
Not 100, yeah. And I like that a little bit because it's like, okay, cool. He's trying to accomplish the same goal. He's just doing it horribly evil.
I mean, Hammer and Obadiah Stane do a better job in Iron Man 1 and 2 than Ultron does in Avengers 2.
Yeah, being like the anti-him.
Well, no, because both of them are Iron Man with the same intelligence without the heart.
Without the heart, yeah.
Right?
But my thing with Ultron that just, not even necessarily like his plan or like his like a lot of his jokes and one-liners. It's just like, yeah, it's a Marvel movie. It's a Marvel movie, and it was after Guardians, right?
No, before.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
It was interesting.
A big point I would make is Thanos didn't make any one-liners.
Yeah.
It was great.
I mean, his that didn't always bug me. A lot of it kind of.
There were jokes made around him.
Yeah.
He was like the, hey, nutsack face, or like whatever Chris Pratt called him.
Yeah.
they made jokes around him. He was a butt of jokes. They were comedic scenes that he was in, but he wasn't the one
He wasn't making the
initiating
jokes.
them.
Yeah. And that is something that I think they could have done where Ultron like doesn't get the humor or something, and that would have been interesting.
Right.
But the part of his performance that I like, and the part that always gives me chills, is like the scene where Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver meet him in the church, or like a few other things where he says, anytime he sings, "There are no strings on me," where he said like randomly quoting like Bible verses. Or
Tony Stark.
Yeah,
like
stuff
those,
like that.
those are all good.
Where it just brings me. I'm terrified every single time. Like this is much. I find that much more terrifying than just yes, the Avengers.
Yeah.
I'm going to destroy you.
The thing is, there's a conflict in Vision there.
Yes.
Because you say that he does a good job as being the anti-Iron Man.
Not as
that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
As you said, and I don't know. I don't have no clue what they're going for because they could be going for 1,000 things.
Yeah.
If they really leaned into there are no strings on me, that he's trying to be an autonomous individual.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, how to make a compelling story? Period. Make there be somebody trying to find autonomy. It's like, oh yes, I found a compelling story. Thank you, Hamlet.
Yeah.
It's like,
or I love his thing where I seriously though, like the one I'm thinking in my head right now is when he has the vibranium. He's like, on this rock I will build my house or my church, and that's not the one I'm picturing that actually like straight up gave me chills.
Are you picturing the one when Scarlet Witch was inside the cage and he was like, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger? Because I hate that scene.
Okay, no, the thing is not that one. Because actually, that's the part where I think it goes too far. Because part of what makes this thing so chilling is it's his voice, and then there's like the slightly robotic echo. But then
I wish it was more robotic.
when he
He
gets,
sounds like a person.
I know, but you get that. But I liked that human voice robotic echo. But then when you get into that last form, when he does that monologue, like rips the other one apart, which doesn't make any logical sense. Why wouldn't he just keep the other powerful body? That is a problem I have with it. Is it becomes a robotic voice with a robotic echo, and I didn't like that.
Okay.
But the
thing is, you can hardly notice that from the vibranium to the non-vibranium form of Ultron, they're pretty identical.
Yeah.
That's
but
the worst
I
part.
really like I'm blanking on the one I really really liked, but I really liked his monologue with why the church is in the center of the town, and like when he's like under the cloak, and it's like that's cool, and I like that shot where you just see like his robot arm, but that's all you see. Like.
Yep. Now, I think the best thing about Age of Ultron was not Ultron; it was all of the characters.
Yeah.
Besides him, I think that the worst part was Thor going off for some reason randomly that was never actually used. That scene still is pointless.
I swear I saw somewhere that like someone called that a deleted scene. I'm like, no, that's in the movie. He does that. I think it was in the Cosmonaut thing when he's reviewing Age of Ultron. He has like the picture of him in the pool like getting electrocuted, and it has like in a deleted scene. And I'm like, that's in the movie.
It should be deleted.
It should be a deleted scene. Yeah.
It would be way better as a deleted scene than
another
actually
reason-
making it into the movie.
Another reason I just like Age of Ultron, and this is 100% bias. My favorite of like the original Avengers is Hawkeye, and Hawkeye gets the all-star treatment in that movie.
And that's fine. As I'm saying, that's what makes part of the movie good.
And also him and Scarlet Witch's like friendship is one of my favorite
It's
things.
It's cute.
And Zach, why are you laughing?
Zach's like, yeah, friendship. They made eye contact. They're gonna get married.
Yeah, I still think one of the greatest Marvel lines ever is, "The city is flying. We're fighting an army of robots, and I have a bow and arrow." None of this makes any sense.
Yeah, at least they acknowledge the fact that Hawkeye isn't cool.
And Hawkeye acknowledges that he just doesn't. He's like, I don't know why I'm here. Which
Precisely.
that's another interesting thing with him and his wife's conversation. He was like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't think they need me. And she's like, I think they do need you. And that's much more terrifying.
See, that's only in Age of Ultron that that's actually true.
True?
Every other time he shows up, no, they don't need him.
No, yeah.
he has no emotional bind. with
The
anyone.
issue is, I mean, he was mind controlled for most of the first Avengers.
And then they forgot about him until Endgame.
Yeah, but honestly, he does fun. Him and Scarlet Witch's continued friendship, like when he goes to rescue her in Civil War, that whole scene I think is really fun.
Yeah, no, and
Her two, like, the two people she trusts most, Hawkeye and Vision, like, trying to pull her to the opposite sides.
yeah, see, it's like it's true. I think that the best thing about Age of Ultron is what it's set up. Mm-hmm. I think that actually, inversely to my point I made about Black Panther, Age of Ultron is the most connected
Yes.
movie. It is the most like, okay, this is a stepping stone to the next ones, right?
Yeah. It's literally
After this movie, I'm
going
gonna watch another one. Whereas Black Panther is like, it basically doesn't connect to anything.
it doesn't matter.
And no, it doesn't matter. It's
No,
still a
it
good
doesn't matter,
film,
but like
yeah.
it does matter, but it's interesting. But
Because like when Black Panther shows up in other places throughout the MCU,
but
no connection.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is that rest in peace Chadwick Boseman, by
Yeah.
the way. Just rest in peace. Great guy, great actor. He probably never will now.
Yeah.
Because Marvel's yet to have this problem of an actor dying.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do?
I have no idea. And
Because like they recast, they got Don Cheadle to be War Machine, right?
but I didn't think the other dude died. I thought he just
No,
didn't do the
he just
movies.
quit.
Yeah.
And missed out.
Yeah.
Very
but
bad
honestly,
decision.
Don Cheadle is super. I love him.
Does a great job.
Also, I'd like to point out that I don't know if this is true. It could just be I missed something in Ocean's 11. I watched the credits. Like I was just sitting there and I was talking about the movie with my family, and then I realized Don Cheadle was not in the credits. Think about how big of his role is in that movie, and it looked like it was uncredited. I might have just missed it, but I swear it like went through all the main characters with a picture, and he wasn't there.
Yeah, and it put under John T. Deedle. I almost said that. Put under Don Cheadle's role, Jerry Cortez. What? Jerry, were you in Ocean's 11?
No, he's not.
Okay.
Darn it.
I mean, I could.
But I have. There is my least favorite. Here's my least favorite character choice, and besides Captain Marvel, in the MCU, and it probably isn't there. Quicksilver's death. It doesn't bug me that he died. I'm like, okay. Scarlet Witch has like the reaction to it, everything else. After the end of Age of Ultron,
You know my least favorite character decision? For Scarlet Witch to slowly lose her accent with time.
Yeah, facts.
Because you say Quicksilver, and I was like, oh yes, there's Quicksilver the funny one, and Quicksilver the Romanian? Quicksilver,
he's
Eastern European
I don't
one.
think he's
He has a-
quite as bad as everyone says. He's nowhere near as good as the Fox one, but he doesn't.
No, he's just like, you
he doesn't
remember him
offend
as
me.
person with Eastern European accent,
Yeah.
right? And then you're like, wait, didn't Scarlet Witch have an accent? In that movie she did.
Not in the other ones, but
She just lost it.
So help me. After Age of Ultron, they have like the big thing where she like blows up all the room and she like does another great monologue in that thing where she's like, you know what it felt like, it rips Ultron's heart out.
Yeah.
I loved that scene. Yes, airplane.
It is an airplane. Are you
And then
you
in
excited?
every
Yes,
single
every single
movie
time.
after that, he's never mentioned. Every single one of her other character choices either has to do with Hawkeye or Vision. His death affects her not at all. Even when I thought they brought it up, I then later realized I was wrong. In Endgame, where Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch are like sitting looking over the lake, and Hawkeye's like, I'm sure they both remember. I was like, okay, yeah, obviously Black Widow and Quicksilver, like, they're too close. I was like, no, he's talking about Vision. That's who. It's just, it bugs me that nothing he does is ever brought up again. Like, his death has impact for the movie
So
and then
in
never again.
conclusion, Age of Ultron is the worst one, as we're saying,
Yeah.
tied with
I like it.
second Thor. 'Cause it's still-
No, don't insult Age of Ultron.
No.
There's some other ones I think I probably...
What would be okay? Which one's worse? I mean, like Captain Marvel is still an enjoyable film, in the same way that Age of Ultron is. I mean, Brie Larson,
I would-
lover or hater. I mean,
I like Captain Marvel less than I
the movie
like
is
it.
basically the Samuel L. Jackson show.
The thing is, I think objectively Age of Ultron is probably one of the worst ones. Like, I would agree with you. It's pretty far down there.
Like, because we
I
talked
just
about
love
like
it-
all the things you like about it. I'm just like, but what about this? Like, well, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I'm
Because-
like,
like what I said at the beginning. I agree with all the criticism, but I just like it anyway.
yeah, that's
I don't
fine.
know
Yeah,
why.
Yeah, thank you.
And
This is what
then-
everyone who likes Thor Ragnarok should say.
I agree with the.
I agree with the criticism. I like it anyway. It's like, you have a good opinion.
Yeah.
You have a good opinion, which is it's bad.
But I still.
Because I still think Thor
Yeah.
Ragnarok is better than Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a big fan of Iron Man 2. It doesn't like offend me in any way. I just think it's just kind of forgettable.
She doesn't do enough. We should normalize not being offended by Iron Man. You know?
No, I think it's honestly, it's just I forget it exists routinely.
Oh man, what did I send to? I sent this to Jeremiah, not you, Jerry, but I sent this to Jeremiah. Let me bring this up. So you know how Jeremiah, his biggest point on the podcast was, just shut up, you're not important.
Yeah.
And like he explained that after a little while, and I was like, oh yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. So I found a meme that I sent him, and the meme was some person on Twitter saying like, normalize dating sex workers, normalize dating sex workers, normalize dating sex, and it's like 30 normalized dating sex workers. And then this guy named Will Primo said, normalize this, normalize that, bro, normalize shutting the F up. Which, I mean, I agree with.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, let's just normalize stop talking.
And then, of course, Aiden likes the other idea.
Yeah.
So, now that
Wait,
we've cleared it
actually,
up-
you know what? Let's normalize being quiet. I'm glad that was normal.
Yeah.
All right.
nothing
That was-
like strange about that
That
at
was the
all.
most normal thing I've
Okay,
done all day.
I want to bring up
Yeah,
something.
didn't that just feel so right to force
was-
something to
Correct.
be normal?
Force everyone to be normal.
Whenever I look at you, Jackson, I'm like, okay, my best friend Abed. I'm gonna force him to be normal.
Man,
And doesn't that always
that's
work out
great.
so well?
Doesn't that work out great?
It's almost like being a liberal.
Or you mumbled that. I don't think the mic heard you. I don't think the mic should hear you.
But I want to hear Duncan's opinion on this fan theory I saw. It was an old video from Super Carlin Brothers, which I enjoy them. They put this out before Endgame, and because they're like, okay, what's Thanos gonna do during Endgame? And they're like, okay, theorizing like with the comics and with other stuff. I was like, okay, this should be interesting. And I hadn't watched it before, and I watched this like 2 days ago. So this is a long time after Endgame came out, and they basically said they took a couple lines from Infinity War, Ragnarok, and a few other just like places, comic book things, and said, wouldn't it be really interesting? And I would love this as like a Marvel what if type thing.
Yeah.
During Endgame, he like they do kind of like his like trying to win over Lady Death thing, but Lady Death is Hela. Because they're like, you can't just pull Lady Death out of nowhere for the fourth Avengers movie, but what if they don't have to? Or fifth, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Civil War is an Avengers movie. It's not a Captain America movie.
But then they were like, so what if instead of just being like Lady Death, it's the goddess of death, and it is Hela, which I thought would be really interesting. Like now, just kind
Isn't
of
Hela dead?
Yes, but what's weird is then they pointed out that where Asgardians a lot of time go when they die is hell, which is where she was imprisoned by Odin before.
So now you're talking.
So I was like, oh, what they said is hell's a place you go where if you don't have an honorable or dishonorable death.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't say she had an honorable death, but because she didn't like save anyone, she just got killed by Surtur. But it wasn't like I wouldn't say it was like dishonorable in some like Norse honor way.
I mean, she tried to destroy Asgard and take over. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's dishonorable.
That is dishonorable, but it was. But
saying, like, in a ritualistic
from what
way.
from what I understand about Norse mythology, it's more of like the actual way you die
Yeah, the
of being
ritual,
honorable
okay.
or dishonorable. And also according to Norse mythology, and I would guess this is probably not true for the Marvel universe, but if you have the honorable death, you go to Valhalla, and if you don't, you go to hell.
yeah.
And hell is with one L, so you can't get mad at me for saying it. But
Andrew's
only men.
already upset.
But now people are gonna be upset because Norse mythology only men can go to Valhalla.
Ah.
So all females go to hell, which is why Odinism for most modern men is great because you either get to have an honorable death where you go to Valhalla and drink and eat for the rest of your life,
Do I get
or
my 72 virgins like in Islam?
no, or you get to go to
Dang it! Ugh!
or
I hate Odin.
or
Worst
here's-
religion ever.
Here are your two options: eat and drink for eternity, or you go to hell where there's just a bunch of bored women for eternity. Those are your two options.
Okay, so I'm back on Odinism. I'm glad you brought it up.
So yeah, I mean, technically she could be alive. She's probably not. She's probably dead. She's not coming back. Like we
Oh
don't
no,
know
do you
this,
want
but-
do you want to know reason number 10,904 for why Thor Ragnarok sucks?
You don't like Hela?
No. So where was Thor at the beginning? He was in hell, right? With Surtur.
No, Surtur's not in hell. Surtur's in a different realm.
But he was there. Where is that? If this is all supposed to be happening in space,
Wouldn't the 9...
where are all of the other realms? If this is all supposed to be happening in space,
Well, I mean, there's the 9 realms, and they're all technically different. This is...
explain it to me. Reason
Gosh
number
dang it, Dark...
10,904.
This is Dark World. So you say this, but I think it's also... It's another thing we can blame on Dark World. Because with this gosh dang Reality Stone, that's their whole thing is infect all of the 9 realms. But, like, Earth is one of the 9 realms, and Asgard is one of the 9 realms. But you can get there with spaceships. But then the other 9 realms, we only ever see people get through like, portals. Like, Bifrost or... the weird, like, other portals you can get through, or the Reality Stone, which I get they already
No.
Wait, hold up.
You can still blame Thor Ragnarok for being the one where, like, they fly a spaceship to and out of.
Yeah. Oh, true. They don't
They don't have a
normal.
spaceship inside Thor the Dark World.
No, I thought that's how the Dark Elves get there. Is they
No,
fly
but
them,
they're
like...
using the Reality Stone to warp their
Okay.
spaceships there.
But what's really... You know what I just thought about that's so stupid? So Red Skull grabs the Tesseract. At this point, we don't know that the Tesseract is an Infinity Stone, right?
Nope, we just think it's powerful thing that teleports.
So why...
Powerful MacGuffin that teleports.
And Dark World before or after? No, it doesn't.
it's after Avengers.
Okay, it's after Avengers, but at that point, we still don't know that the Tesseract is an Infinity Stone. We still think it's just a powerful.
Yeah, well,
thing.
we don't know if the Aether is Infinity Stone until
neither.
way longer.
Yeah, but in my brain is if they're going to, because at that point we don't know what the Infinity Stone. Average viewer doesn't know what the Infinity Stones are or which one is which. If you're gonna make an entire villain plot about warping things around and infecting all the 9 realms with, like, blasting stuff through them, use the Space Stone.
Yeah.
Because the Reality Stone's whole thing is manipulating reality. And even then, apparently it's only by proximity.
So this is what I said to you, Jackson. You need to be the right audience. Right now, you're not being the right audience for the Marvel films.
Why
Which
when
are people who
Thanos...
say, wait, this is stupid, this couldn't actually happen in real life. And everyone else is like, that's the point.
No. I am not horribly offended by when Thanos leaves that Mantis and Drax go back to normal. I'm still confused on if we don't know what the Infinity Stones are or what any of them do or which ones are which.
Yeah, they're supposed to be fragments of the Big Bang.
Yeah, just make that one. Oh wait, but no, Dark World happened before Guardians, so we haven't even seen all of them. So you could still make the Aether the Space Stone. Okay.
You're welcome.
This is why
for you.
Dark World is the last
But
one.
no, but also, like, why the
Or the
Tesseract
worst
should
one.
have been the Power Stone,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
all it does is power, except for teleport Red Skull
Well-
away at the end. But everyone thinks it's him being blown
Blown
up.
up.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna get off of that. Zach,
Yes.
you've been here the whole time.
I have, yes.
For the last 45 minutes, Jackson and I have been nerdgasming everywhere.
I'm starting to think this is a scheme to keep me from talking about politics.
Yes, actually. So back onto the Infinity Stones, because the Perfectly Average Guys.
Listen, we have a 92-minute podcast. We just talk about politics and then later cut it. It's still long enough.
Yeah, there you go.
You gotta. I like your thought process, Jackson. You and I, we should work together.
I know. We
You
should.
guys should make
wait.
a podcast.
We should do a pod.
You should let me on it too. That'd be
Wait.
awesome.
That'd be crazy.
Jackson, you and I have, like, really good chemistry for like agreeing with each other. Yeah.
Also, for those of you who don't know, Zach just said something about how we should have him on the podcast. One of the first 5-star reviews we got was from him that said, "This podcast is perfect except for one thing. I haven't been on it
So
yet."
it is
that's
now perfect.
So now we have to be the Perfectly Guys.
The perfectly guys.
I have to go through and change everything.
We are some perfectly guys.
Oh man.
So, we met each other at school, but
Yes.
we also, I guess, know each other. We've done cross country and
Yeah,
work together
together.
as well, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, last year, like, we couldn't escape each other because we
Yeah.
worked together and did cross country. and school.
And we're dating each other.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
There's a lot.
How did you know about that?
Whoa!
It's the ring. Okay. Congratulations. Congratulations, if you will.
Dang it, this is gonna ruin the whole thing where we hired the actor to play my girlfriend.
Well, no, the actor was also for your family. The thing
yeah,
that you
wait.
had a girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Where did you even get her?
As was stated, normalize dating sex workers.
I got you. Okay, that's where that came from.
Yeah, the Twitter user was Jackson Cartwright 5.
Not Jackson Cartwright 5.
I still think that's probably the most uncomfortable I've ever made someone was the breeding joke.
the
Breeding joke.
the breeding
During
joke.
comp.
I don't remember that one.
Wait,
So in-
breeding is a joke to you guys?
Yes. So in comp we were talking and Mrs. Ong said we're gonna write a paper about the ethics of like cloning a human and cloning things.
Right.
I was like, okay, that's interesting. But then I was like, dude, I would love to clone just like one singular puppy and have an army of 1,000 puppies.
Yeah.
And Zach is like, you should just breed. And I looked him dead
Oh,
in the
yeah.
eyes and goes, I always breed, and winked at him.
Yep. I do remember that one now.
And he
good.
just like shuddered.
Speaking of the ethics of cloning, Zach, what's your stance on it?
I don't know. I feel like animals, it's all right because from a Christian worldview, animals don't have
Look at
a
the mic.
soul.
Don't look at me.
The animals don't really have an eternal soul, so I feel like that's all right. But with humans, in my worldview, we were handcrafted by God with all our personality and stuff. So I feel like we shouldn't go messing with that.
Okay.
The thing that I have that like
Now what about CRISPR?
neutrally like not even saying but like thinking in my brain without even saying if I'm for cloning humans or against cloning humans, a soul is not a scientific thing that you can scientifically interact with. So would the clone not have a soul? And if the soul is like the thing for morals and this.
So here's the point I would make that to you, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
So from the worldview of like we're handcrafted by God, like sure. Now, if they're cloned, you love a certain series all about clones.
Yes,
they're
I do.
all from the same person, but they're all entirely different people.
Right.
That's part of what's great about it.
I wouldn't really
They're even
say-
voice acted by the same person, but
Right.
they're two separate people. Just like how twins have exact genetic material, but no one would say that they have the same soul.
Right. I wouldn't say that the Clone Wars is quite a scientific analysis of cloning, though.
Well, it's more a narrative analysis of
Right.
it, that all of these people are the same, but they're entirely different.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like, so that's the point I would make, because I'm like, heck yes, clone people, that's awesome.
The thing, like,
Just don't clone me.
Yeah,
I
there's
hate.
not-
there's some people that we can't clone.
Yeah. Are we talking about like cloning people and they have the exact same personality as well?
well, that's what we're trying to figure out.
If they would.
Because I don't think they would, because like twins have the same genetic material, but entirely different.
But then the issue becomes like, is this cloning process like sped up growth, or do they start as a baby and grow normally? Because then you would
Yeah.
have personality. Or if you clone, like say I cloned Zach right now, would that clone be a 17-year-old human that just suddenly has now?
I would assume that he would be like, you take Zach's DNA, make an embryo out of it,
And then it would
grow
be Zach, right?
Sounds like a pretty cool guy.
It would grow up to be Zach.
Yeah, it will, and he would look exactly like him. But
That's a
again,
shame.
what's interesting is, but then you kind of have the nature versus nurture thing. That's is both. But if we clone someone and then they grow from an embryo, then yeah, they are going to have a completely different personality because they have different experiences and
Right.
different things. So they wouldn't. Oh, do you have opinions on this?
I was just gonna say, do we have to go to Camino to get these clones? or-
Yes.
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 Specifically there,
Yes.
we have to.
We will create our own Camino with a little thing in the ocean.
And we have to. That means we also have to use genetic splicing to make
Yes.
big whale flying things and people with tall necks.
Correct. and those cool chairs that come from the ceiling.
we would assume that the people with tall necks would still have this same amount of vertebrae, right?
Yes.
Like a giraffe has the same amount of vertebrae as we do.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
Yes.
Give me some giraffe.
That is a
DNA.
necessity. They must have the exact amount
That's
of
something we
vertebrae.
never talked about. If you could give your what was it?
No. If you could, like Zach, if you could genetically modify your children to have one attribute, what would it be?
Claws, night vision, something that.
Like we're talking CRISPR because this is something that our children may have to decide whether or not it's ethical for them to do.
Also,
To CRISPR like different genes into their children.
I still honestly have done so little research and barely know what CRISPR is. So
It's a fancy little meaning to basically just say, hey, we're taking this gene, splitting it up at the DNA so that we have it down to the smallest form, and then we're just splitting up this little bit of DNA, this like specimen 1, specimen 2.
Okay, yeah.
We're taking something from this specimen 2, the code for it, removing where this would go in specimen 1, and putting this code in.
Okay, yeah.
And if it binds, it keeps going.
Yeah.
For instance, like we put snake DNA inside mice, and these mice had no arms or legs.
That's
Oh dang.
creepy. I don't like that. Okay, so that's how they make the glow in the dark pets. They do that because this I actually have heard. They do that. It's with jellyfish genes.
Yep.
And they put it in rabbits or cats. They can
They
all do
make
it in like
things glow in
small
the
ones,
dark, yep.
and they glow in the dark.
That is creepy.
Which could the thing is, I've looked up pictures of it, and sometimes it's really terrifying when it's like a deep murky green, but sometimes it's like the light like glow in the dark green.
Well, no,
It's
me
actually
telling you
kind
the
of
ones
cute.
about the snake DNA in the mice is terrifying.
It's terrifying. But honestly, imagine
Even though
like,
it's like the size of your thumb that's just rolling
but
around.
honestly, having a glow in the dark bunny rabbit, I think would be adorable.
having a glow in the dark child.
No, please.
Time to play Ghosts in the Graveyard.
Children are already terrifying
seek.
enough.
Can you imagine the ring? Like, you know,
I am the luminescent.
I also have to point out, my sister has like very long hair, and she used to like do like kind of sleepwalking, but just be like half asleep in the middle of the night and go to my parents' room and just like stand there next to the bed, and they'd wake up, be like, Lexi, go back to bed, and she'd go back to bed. But when she would do that, her hair would hang over her face like the person from The Ring. So it straight up like my dad was like, I'm gonna have a heart attack one day because of this. But now he has heart problems, so he might. But
Sorry, Clay. I didn't
but
come
you
come to you like
imagine that if you know they glowed in the dark.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I think
So we discovered Aiden would do floppy tongue.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever actually.
We didn't
discovered
ask him that. We just decided
that.
it for him. I don't remember what I said for mine. I think it was like claws or something.
I'd like my kids to have regeneration.
Regeneration. Yeah, that's a smart thing.
good. I don't know. Maybe like shark skin. It's just like the cartilage. It's super tough.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
doesn't cut
Say
very
that
well.
again, but into the mic.
So like shark skin, it's like the cartilage. It's got like it just goes in one way, and so it's like impossible to cut. Like not impossible, but super hard. So I think that would be a cool thing. It'd
So
be
like
really hard to
tougher
get
skin.
lacerations.
Yeah, tougher skin.
And Zach got to talk about sharks too. So.
Yes. Yes. I'm glad you.
Yeah.
See, you know, I think another fun one would be to make like my children amphibious, where they
That
could actually breathe underwater.
So the thing is, I want to do that. Can I do that to myself? Because I want to be amphibious.
So do I, but this is not the choice we're getting. Right?
Okay,
Because it
so
would be
I just have to tell my children, all right, clone me and make me amphibious.
Yeah, and also give me eyes that aren't human eyes, but can also be human eyes above water.
What?
No.
Ooh.
So no, like
I just
so
have
like
the
so
mental
you know
image
how like
of
you can
someone...
have different eyelids. Mm-hmm. I want one that I blink down that eyelid,
Oh.
and it allows me to actually see underwater properly
That's
because human
cool.
eyes can't.
Yes.
I want that.
As anyone who's been underwater can tell you.
But, no, but also like we can't see very far down.
you imagine-
And we can't see in the dark.
How the heck would you CRISPR in, like, spider web spinning? Like, actually Spider-Man.
Like giving someone spinnerets.
Yeah.
You'd be terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Like, 'cause-
Spiders are already bad enough. We don't need.
Yeah, he
those.
hates
I hate
spiders so much.
I really hate spiders.
I used to have a phobia of spiders until I realized this one fact. I am several billion times bigger than it. In a fight, weight is usually one of the most important things. I will win
Except-
any fight with a spider.
Half the time you don't even know it's there. It just bites you and you're dead. You're
No,
done.
there are very few spiders that are that toxic.
And they're all in Australia.
That's
No,
bad.
no. They're all in Brazil.
Okay, true. Yeah, they're
So
all there.
do you want to hear something about
Okay,
the
in Brazil,
Brazilian?
in Brazil, weight doesn't matter because you have one bite death spiders, you have poisonous dart frogs. It's all the tiny things that kill you. Don't be scared of whatever big jungle cats are there. Be scared of the little frog that's like, I'm just gonna climb into your bag, and you reach for your clothes and you die.
Dead. Except
So-
frogs are cute.
I want you guys to look up right now the Brazilian wandering spider.
Is this the one that's the size of the dinner plate?
No. It's big, but it's not nearly. That's not why it's bad. So other English names for it include the armed spiders,
Ew.
Or
no.
Yeah, he stopped.
it's pretty. It's a large one. It's bigger than anyone we'd find in North America.
Oh, it's doing the freaking wave,
No, it moves really slowly.
and it looks like it has like a baboon butt on its face.
So do you want to know why it's one of the most aggressive spiders in the entire animal kingdom? But it's also called the banana spider. The reason why it's called the banana spider is because they love hiding in bananas. All right.
I'm never eating a banana.
Okay.
Zach, I'm gonna need a banana shake.
No.
So these things like barely ever kill people outside of Brazil.
Outside of bananas.
Except for a shipment of bananas was sent from Brazil to the UK, and a man going down and just getting a thing of bananas didn't notice that there was an egg for a Brazilian wandering spider in it.
I
Didn't even
hate
notice it
this.
hatching. So this, like a
Hate
month
that.
later, after eating a banana, he still had it all there. Brazilian wandering spider bit him and killed him.
Hate that.
Now, mind you, that's like a 1 in a trillion chance.
Still hate it.
But-
Though my favorite spider, and me and Alona and Rachel all said this, and Duncan didn't believe us, and we showed him the picture, and he still doesn't believe us. But the Hawaiian happy face spider
That's amazing.
is the greatest spider because it's literally a smiley face emoji as a spider.
Is it from Hawaii?
It is, yes, it's in Hawaii. It's
Only in Hawaii.
only in Hawaii would we find a spider that Zach likes.
My parents actually lived in Hawaii for a while.
That's dope. I love that entire state is great.
Yeah, my dad went down. He was actually painted the barracks at Pearl Harbor. is what
That's
he was
cool.
doing.
Also, I just thought of something that I never thought of before, but it kind of makes sense. Whenever you hear about like politics or governors or any of that, you never hear about Hawaii or Alaska. Like,
Yeah.
it can be like like here's a list of states that's doing this, and here's
What is it? No, Amy Klobuchar is like one of the people I'll be like, yeah, I'd vote for you. She's from
I
Hawaii.
feel like the last point I heard about politics from either of those states was when freaking Alaska woman, I don't forget her name, Sarah Palin was running. That was the last time I heard of
She's pretty cool.
any type of politics.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, I feel like Hawaii doesn't
here it is.
care.
The fate of the man bitten by the Brazilian wandering spider. Do you want to see the image of the banana in question?
It's a nice banana.
Yeah, that's the banana that almost killed him.
Dang.
Hate that.
That's
Don't.
what you call a death from COVID right there.
That's pretty good.
I saw a
He
great.
wasn't wearing a mask.
I saw a great.
Better if it wore a
I
mask.
saw a great Babylon Bee article today. That was Trump visits San Francisco and now no one can find him.
You said that to me.
It's a picture of Trump in front of the wildfire, but they like photoed it out so it's just his lines. But they're basically talking about how he's orange and he disappeared in San Francisco.
See, they think, like, liberals think that we get so mad when they call him the orange man. Like, he is orange. Like, it's amazing.
He's
like,
a
who cares?
Cheeto Puff as a human.
It's amazing. Like, say all you want. It's chill.
Though I have seen definitely worse spray tans at Crisp Rep, and that is a fact.
Yeah. You could, yeah.
And all of them, as soon as they got their fake spray tan, all three of the people I'm thinking of instantly dyed their hair like a bleached blonde, and then got like a super dark fake-looking spray tan.
I know exactly who you're talking about now.
You're thinking of one, and then there was the other one
Yeah.
that's in the grade below us.
Great plus. Did you still go there?
Yes. You're not any
You have
closer.
to tell me later.
But yeah, no. And then she, I don't think, because she didn't actually get a spray tan, but then she did, and her hair was only partially blonde. It was like half of it was, but at least 3 people got a pretty bad looking spray tan, or
Here it
they
is.
actually got tan, but then dyed their hair like a bleach blonde, and it just looks so off.
So, do you want to know?
He's still looking at spiders.
No, I was trying to look up for this specific fact so I could actually cite it, because I knew this already. But I just wanted to cite it. So, the Brazilian wandering spider's venom is not only deadly; it's supposed to be the most painful venom of all time. This is why, because the venom is loaded with serotonin.
What?
So serotonin's the thing that goes through your head that makes you happy and pleasure.
Yeah.
It's loaded with it. So much of it, so your body thinks it's a good thing when it's actually hurting it. It's supposed to be excruciating. Now, that's not the worst thing
Like
about
women.
it. Okay? No, that's not the worst. That's not the worst thing about it. In addition to intense pain and possible medical complications, the bite of a Brazilian wandering spider can deliver a long, painful erection to human males. The venom
females.
boosts. No. The venom is nitric is nitric acidic, so it boosts nitric oxide, a chemical that increases blood flow. So, like, serotonin, your body's like, oh, pleasure, 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 as it's eating away the skin and everything. And it's also sending nitric oxide so that the blood flow goes everywhere.
Did you get a pump?
That's
No. You would get a pump, but also several studies have looked at incorporating the venom into drugs for erectile dysfunction. But the thing is, the erection is so bad it begins to bleed.
Oh boy,
that is this is I'm renaming it the Satan spider.
Yeah, no,
Because it's so clever.
No,
how-
here's the thing, because you might not die from it, right? You might not die from it.
You just want to die.
That would be the most painful experience of your entire life.
Oh yeah.
There's your
'Cause
podcast name,
like,
Bleeding Erection.
You watch out for your bananas coming from Brazil.
Yeah.
They might have a Brazilian wandering spider because they like to hide in them at night.
I'm gonna boil my bananas.
Zach's going to burn every banana he sees.
Yeah.
Rebecca just walks in back of Culver's. Zach's just a flamethrower on our banana.
Die. Like, what are you doing? There might be a spider.
Well, the thing is, with the amount of pesticides that we put on bananas,
Especially coming
and-
into America, it's pretty.
Well, no, the ones grown in America, especially because
Yeah.
most of the bananas that we have in America we grow in California, right? So there's plenty of safe things
Which
about our
is a
bananas.
All the bananas we grow are in California.
Big facts.
All the ones I grow in California.
That's where we make. That's where,
Wait, did all of our all
where
of
we
our
make all the fruitcakes.
oh man, all of our bananas burned down. What are we gonna do? So I work out.
Oh, Zach started the fire to stop the Brazilian.
Oh, it was your
invasion.
gender reveal party.
Yeah.
You were revealing yourself as
Have
a
you
boy.
seen? I love this. My favorite meme that's come out of that is it's the Doofenshmirtz meme from Across the Second Dimension, where he's just like, if I had a nickel for every time a gender reveal party sparked a my
A
voice
statewide
went-
fire, yeah.
sparked a California wildfire, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's strange that it's happened twice.
All right, we're ending the podcast here. This podcast splits off into us talking about politics, and with the current political climate, we just don't think that's the easygoing sort of vibes that we want for PAG. However, we're ending the podcast, so you should go like, comment, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and tell your friends to subscribe too.
And the second part will be out in a few weeks that has all the political stuff in it, so if you're actually interested in that, you will get it eventually.
Yeah, our opinions don't matter on that. Please don't cancel us. Also, shout out to the guy in Ontario who just found out is listening to this.
All the episodes.
Yeah,
all but one.
there's
He's
one
listened to
guy in
11 out
yeah.
of the 12.
Yeah, shout out to you. If you're that guy from Ontario or any person and want to contact us, you can find us on PAG_cast on Twitter and on Instagram, or you can email us at theperfectlyaverageguys@gmail.com. Thank you all so much for listening, and have a good week.